Thursday, August 29th, Bitcoin price review. I got my long stopped out just above my entry yesterday as prices broke. I was at yoga, so I didn't see this until after I got back. It all happened pretty quickly, so trading out of that little 1, 2, 3 formation that I was trading at right here was good to get my stop loss above. It was a place to take a risk, but I was wrong. And I was wrong all the way through the analysis. I was seeing where I was wrong, where I was wrong, where I was wrong. And now I just finished watching yesterday's video, so I have some great perspective. We were watching for this to tip negative, saying that's bearish. If it slides downward, that's bearish. So we had the slide downward as bearish. It's not holding itself yet. For on the weekly view, we've got some real work to do this next few days to catch here, if we're going to. But from this top formation, it does feel like we'll be hitting down to the 68 level or so. We do have a strong bearish divergence here that I didn't give the credit to yesterday. I was expecting or hoping that this would be coming up a little bit here instead of what it did. But everything was clear. It was all there. And yesterday I was talking about this trend line, saying that a break below that is bearish. That I was expecting it to tick up from here all the way along from all this history and everything, but it didn't. It broke down below those levels. And as that broke, it was clear. I just wasn't at the computer to switch my position. Fortunately, I was stopped out. So anyway, here again, we were watching this yesterday and expecting that this is going to tilt up at the beginning of this. And I'm still not completely convinced that this top formation is done, and everything is saying that it's bearish so far. So we'll see what's going on. Do we have a divergence in this that it's going to be strong enough to hold the position here? We have to see some structure build up here. It's not going to be a quick turnaround. What is it, 12 hours? So this is, 5 or 6 days here that this held before it gave us a really strong signal as this was setting up. So we'll watch to see what's happening now. It's down to a pretty good oversold condition, but not extreme. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. Not that extreme. And actually, if we look at this, it is a divergence from this extreme oversold to this not so extreme oversold, and we have lower lows there. So that is a bullish divergence in the RSI that we didn't have yesterday. We had an undecided triangle right in the middle. Now we have a bullish divergence right off of this point here at important support and resistance levels. So let's see what else is telling us that. We're on the 4-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame, not as nice. This is a bit of a bullish divergence on that small time frame. And we're down to more oversold conditions here on the 1 hour. So it's not quite as supporting. And yet, am I seeing any bearish divergences right off of this that I should have seen yesterday? Not really clear. Not really clear. So if I'm missing something in this RSI reading and you see something that I should be, noticing, come and tell us on Discord. Really important. If I'm missing something in this, I want to know it. Now I'm going to zoom in even closer, which is getting crazy, but we do see that from this low to this low, we do have RSI diverging. Not definitive, but just those things I want to observe. Onto the on-balance volume. Let's zoom back out to the long term. So I had already identified for a while now, this is weaker on-balance buying volume on this side, which is bearish. And this is a bearish divergence here as well, where we have good buying, less buying, dumping going on. So bearish view from here, saying that this isn't done going yet. We're in a head and shoulders or a double, whatever top formation this is, call it any name you want, but it looks like it's going to be cracking down from this. And we also have that zipper of death I was pointing out that we had it only here before. And now we had a little bit of it here, and I noticed that yesterday, and sure enough, it turns into the zipper of death again. So I'm going to pay more attention to that when I see it for sure. We have 3 equal dumping lows here on this stage and very little buying, so it's not turning around to tell us that the momentum is going the other direction by this. Selling, less selling, less selling. Not a very deep selling curve here. This was much deeper than we have back here. So should this continue to increase, of course, and go negative, that's bearish. But because we're getting these little bits of divergences in a couple places, that might be a spot to pay attention to as we're zooming in on this. Let's go into the 1 hour time frame. Pretty much equal dumping going on here. So it's not giving me a divergence on this. On this time frame, we can see it a lot better. This was heavy dumping and then much less dumping as we're coming to this low. This is a good bullish divergence here. So that we're seeing very short-term bullish divergence right off of this spot on those great support and resistance level. I want to pay attention to it. I don't want to take any action on it for this period of time. And I do want to take action on shorting below these levels. Again, really small because it reverses so quickly and so often that really small to start off with. And it's got to prove you correct. If you're getting into a short trade, it's got to dump right away. Short trades that go kind of sideways, I'm not as keen about them. When this broke here, it stayed and retested and then came down. That is completely good to get into a trade, let it come back and retest the support and resistance levels. Even here would be another opportunity to be selling. And then you've got your stop below your level and you don't do anything. It's up to the market now. Just like as when I got my stop, my entry in here, my stop above it, it's okay. I can walk away. It's up to the market. The market said, no, you're wrong. Okay, I can try again now. Let's go on to the next indicator, 5-year view. We're looking at the MACD cross. And I was saying yesterday, this is negative, but I was saying, oh, the daily is not looking quite so negative. Maybe this is, but now we go into the daily and clear this off so I can change. When we go over to the daily now and we take a closer look at this, yesterday I was pointing out that this was getting less bad, but then right away it has gotten more bad. And we can see that these are flaring wider, which is an acceleration of bearishness, not an ease off of bearishness yet. So that we have the weekly bearish, that we have the daily bearish, that we have the 12-hour just crossing to bearish and flaring. I really won't be jumping on trying to find a long trade in this right off of this spot. 4-hour bearish and flaring wider. The 1 hour is crossing to the positive. So as it's breaking and this goes back to a negative cross, that would confirm that that sell signal is a good one when it's coming in. This has a double cross, so it's crossed to a more really bullish. Actually, this is a bullish divergence where we have prices lower and we have a cross to the higher side. That is bullish. It could be this is going to be the bounce spot and turnaround, and we'll wait for some structure on that. Other than that, it is a sell signal down below here. We'll likely watch this recross negative as this is breaking these levels. So these are some really key decision point trades if you're watching the charts to be seeing that these things are lining up at the same time. So let's go on to the Ichimoku cloud that really kicked my butt. And I was saying it yesterday as I was going through, saying that's not agreeing with me. This was not agreeing with my bull position. And indeed, it has broken down and verified its stance on the daily chart. That is bearish. So I am looking for a sell signal in Bitcoin coming in. Out of these breaks below here, this is bearish as well. We've got the cross. We've got everything confirming a bearish stance from here. Now let's zoom into the 4-hour time frame, which of course crossed. The blue line crossed over the red. It's hard to see. Here it is. The green line is crossed through everything. And the Ichimoku cloud is twisted to the negative and prices are below the cloud. All of these things are bearish, really lined up and told us right there. And the 1-hour time frame, of course, showed us negative. And yesterday, the 1 hour is not confirming my bull signal. My bull signal, I was in right about in here, and this wasn't confirming at the time. It wasn't denying it completely like it is now, but just got to pay attention to that for next time. And then I did stretch it in my own mind so that the 15-minute bar, I said, oh, this is actually confirming me a little bit. And that didn't last long. As we see this failed 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, almost exhaustion wick, fail. Crossed that trend line, pissing off the roof formation, on down we probably are going. So I used this improperly to verify my bias. And then the 5-minute view, just to take a look at it. Oh, I was freaking out. Because yesterday when I was looking at this, it wasn't really verifying very nicely, but it certainly verified negative quickly. When that started to go, it really verified it. We got this super skinny cloud. We got this going down. So as this is happening, that's the kind of moment I wish I was here to watch it and to document it, because that's the cutting moment. And I was off at yoga. I had already put my stop loss in above my entry. I had done this little swing trade right here and got in right there. Put my stop loss in. I didn't add to it. I was waiting. There was lots of time for it. And then I got kicked out. I'm going, shit. Again, this formation is my nemesis because I believe in it. And yet I'm not preparing for the anti-belief properly on this one. Quick look at Bitcoin dominance. Until Bitcoin dominance does this and breaks coming lower, all of the altcoins are just going to float along, not doing much of anything, or going down. So if Bitcoin dominance is going up and we see that it goes up into no man's land here, I expect that it's going to blast and the alts are going to get crushed another 30 or 40% as that goes up. And I could completely be wrong, but that's what I'm watching for. And as I zoom in, it's looking stronger. Bitcoin dominance is looking stronger, which is curious to me. This was a pretty a big surprise to see Bitcoin dominance rising yesterday as Bitcoin prices dropped. And it rose because Bitcoin prices were dropping, but all of the alts went down as well. So as Bitcoin's going up, the alts are getting crushed down. As Bitcoin goes down, the alts are dropping too. That was not what I was expecting. Yesterday, I was expecting that Bitcoin was going to break higher and all the alts were going to go down. And it turned out Bitcoin went down and all the alts went down. Now they bounced a little bit, but it's still not giving us a turnaround structure in their stances yet. So we still have to stand back. And especially if we're seeing Bitcoin dominance giving us some strength here, then we have to be wary until it comes around over this top and starts to come back. Wary on all of the alts. They're still not alt season yet. Still not coming in. Okay, that'll wrap it up for this one. I'm going to go into the alt video next and dig into those details because this is a strong divergence setting up here. Let's watch to see what this one does over today. Anyway, I'll see you guys over on Discord. I'll let you go for now and I'll get into the next video. Cheers.